Hello, guys. Should have pre-tested that, but apparently my voice is not ready yet. I'm also chewing like a piece of candy, so perfect preparation. But how are you guys doing? We are in for the final Thursday sprints of May. How did we get here? I had an extremely ambitious TBR for this month. And at this point in time, I haven't even read 2,000 pages in this month. So May has not turned out to be the month that I needed it to be, but that's fine. I mean, some months are not as great as others. I mean, I still had a great time in this month, but I was kind of hoping to kind of surprise myself and be able to tackle that hugely overambitious TBR, but no, we definitely did not. But so, how are you guys? Hey, Natalie. Hello, Ewald. Hi, Tufty. Ahoy there. I have been out in my hammock and have already got in 40 minutes of reading, so I'm in credit for this evening. You can use that credit during some of the first sprints. Hello, Josephine, right? I'm currently reading The Ninth Rain, and it's a bit odd. Was not expecting vampires and what is that supposed to be? Demons or ghosts? Spirits? He says using vague emoji icons. Oh, sorry. I mean, it's not that vague, the vampire, right? I did know that there was some sort of a. I don't know whether it's like literal vampires or whether it's like the same sort of elements that remind of a vampire, but I will not be reading The Ninth Rain this month. I will try to catch up at some point. Hello, Larissa. I will be reading Her Dark Wings tonight. Don't know that one. Hello, Mika. Had a lot of stuff to do today. Yeah, that's what it says. My brain has to like my brain seems to move slower than my mouth seems to, and then I'll be like, did I read that correctly? So I had a lot of stuff to do today due to events late in the evening yesterday. I did speak about it on Discord, but I'm ready for some relaxing and giving my mind some rest. Yeah, I'm very behind on Discord, and nowadays I don't know, at work it's just been super busy so that I cannot really catch up during work. So I'm sorry that I don't know most of the things that are being discussed currently in Discord, but so I'm hoping not too stressful stuff was happening. I'm about two-fifths into the ninth rain and not sure how I feel about it right now. Hasn't really grabbed me, and I'm more than a bit frustrated by it, though that may be more my confusion and stuff. Yeah. Mm, for me, it depends, of course, because I haven't read it, so I cannot compare it. But sometimes I really like it when I'm confused at the beginning because I like to have like questions to kind of work through to see like okay what's going on here. Rather, I like it much more than like an over. I want to say overexposed, but that's it's like a camera term. That there's too much exposition at the beginning. I love it more that like they keep things vague and you kind of have to be like, what, and hope and rely on the fact that it becomes clearer afterwards. But it can also be frustrating, especially when it's like unclear whether you're supposed to be confused or not. Because sometimes you can tell that you're supposed to. You were dropped in the middle of the action, so it's like I'm sure I don't need to know this, but sometimes you can be like, am I just not getting this or is this intentional? I will be continuing with the second half of As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. Need to finish it until tomorrow. Is there like a book club or something like that happening for it? I think I saw an announcement for a Fairy Loot edition, right, for that one today. I was planning to read just a little during this birthday month, only to maybe complete a board of Desertathon, 5 books down right now, and in book 6 right now. I've only logged like my first read for Desertathon. I should really look at the prompts to see if I can fit any more to that board or not, but I didn't really pay attention to it while choosing my reads. Hey Kitty, hope you're doing well. Oh no. I hope you feel better. Take some rest and like if that helps you out more, maybe just like go and sit in a dark room and avoid all noises or things like that. But yeah, that's hopefully it'll clear up. Hey Judith, hello everyone. I just cleaned up the kitchen so I can put Nick to bed and read. Nice. I really like the vintage character in the ninth reign, and she seems to get quite a few chapters focused on her. But sometimes a perspective comes up, and I'm left going, "Who's this?" Never a good thing. Oh, you guys have been chatty. The chat is already skipping. I'm currently editing my NetGalley spreadsheet. It now gives me tickets for reviewed books depending on my current feedback ratio. Worst ratio me equals less tickets that I can use to request more books. Nice. Yes, I'm autistic. Why? I mean, then I guess I'm also autistic because I also had like a whole system in place for my like trying to get to zero TBR thing, and also now I have this whole list for rewarding myself with books for doing chores. Phone, bank card, and ID card got stolen yesterday evening, so a lot of canceling, blocking to do with customer services, going to the police, getting a new ID card with a total. That's not nice. Hope it gets sorted at least quickly, that you don't like have to spend ages trying to get all of those things in order. I don't feel integrated with the story when I'm trying to puzzle out the world and figure out who is who. The Monster Hunter bits with Finches and Torm are very interesting though. I'll get to it. Yeah, yes, it is for a little book club I have with my friends. Oh, nice. Hello. Hey, how are you? I'm gonna try to edit. Nice. I have like a half-edited video that I edited half of it Friday, I think, last Friday when we had like I had the bridge day between the bank holiday and the weekends, with the intention of finishing it on Sunday, which didn't happen. So it also didn't go up on Tuesday, which is when I was supposed to have it go up. So I need to edit it this weekend and make sure that I have something edited for next week, maybe even 2 things, because then I'll be off and so there won't be any videos. How you do? Well, not since Tuesday, I think, because Tuesday I completed the paperwork one. And in principle, I'm very close to a few of them, but I'll just finish quite a lot of them on Saturday, I think, because for like the glass container thing, I need to go to the glass container for a second time, which will happen on Saturday. I will go with the rest of my books to the secondhand bookstore on Saturday. And then there's like the reimbursement for my healthcare bills, but for that I need to wait at the moment until they've processed the ones that I currently sent in. So if they haven't processed those before I go to London, then I'll just already count it as completed. And I have readjusted one of my goals because it was no longer possible for me to reach it. And so I've readjusted it so that I can still reach it. I'm gonna try to finish Imogen. Obviously, it's a bit wet. There was an accident with. Oh no! The sun is hiding behind clouds this afternoon after work, after being baking hot all day while I was working at my desk. I mean, I don't like it to be baking warm neither, so I'm listening to a German audiobook and cleaning my room or packing, cutting it close with my Asian read it on TBR. All of our extremely ambitious plans. ID plus phone should be done either tomorrow or Tuesday. Yeah. Bank card is going to. Oh no. No. And then in the meantime, I hope you have another payment methods. Like I guess maybe you can use like PayPal. No, not PayPal. Payconic. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try and pronounce it. I can potentially, but I run the risk of sounding very obnoxious. But the sun is peeking out intermittently, so I'm heading back to my hammock in a few minutes when the sprint timer commences. No, Josephine, tea attacking books is not what we want exactly. Peeking out. Readjusting goals to make them attainable. Yeah, I mean, I only readjust one. The other one I also cannot attain anymore because I didn't go swimming on Friday, and so I only have one swimming session anymore, and so I cannot get to the 60% with that because I already didn't do one or the two, but I'm not readjusting that one. There need to be some consequences. The chi just jumped out of the mug and onto the book. When the sun is out, I'm gagging to get outdoors and into my hammock. And then when the time comes, the clouds appear. And the pillows and the blankets. But my book, oh no. Like Water in Your Hands, a new adult romance from a Pakistani author. Interesting. Don't know it. So, with that cue, let's see each other again in 40 minutes. Happy reading. Hello. We have a visitor. She also heard the sound, I guess, and was like, yeah, sprint's over. Give me attention. So, how did you guys do? I made almost no progress on my book, but it's just because it's a long one. Because I think I made like 2% progress in it. But so yeah, it's like over 700 pages long. Like I think almost 800 pages. So I guess it's still quite okay in terms of page counts. Um, I do think in the next sprint I'm gonna get another matcha, the same as I did last week, because that really kept me very alert. And now I'm already feeling myself like being a little bit tired. Like not necessarily a problem, but like when you're doing a live show, it is a little bit of a problem. um, Yeah, here's where I was. I also ordered a new cat tree, so I need to make some room for this week and throw away the old one, which is falling apart. I also have an old one, which is like super dirty, but yeah, I just put it on my balcony for the time being. So, not that the cats ever sit in it when we're sitting outside, but you know, who knows? Maybe one day. But yeah, I could. I do also like. I don't know, because sometimes they're still sitting on that cat tree, so I kind of feel like I could get rid of it because it's like such a huge cat tree and they're almost never in it. But then sometimes they will have like these periods in which they're using it a lot, so I will not get rid of it. I have some cash lying around and need to survive on that. Stores and supermarkets only take either cash or card. Yeah, and like I don't know, like Payconic for example. I guess like maybe they like blocked it because of your card, or I don't know. Somehow I missed the word tree and thought you were ordering a new cat and wanted to throw away the old one. Never. We don't throw away cats, it's fine. Hello, Jess. I was hoping to read outside today, but it's too chilly. Meh. We'll have to channel Tufty another day, lol. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's probably pretty okay outside here. Like a lot of people are sitting outside on the balconies in the new building across from me, but they have like the evening sunshine. So with sunshine on them, it's probably fine. But like I have shadow on my balcony in the evening, so I don't think this is the time to go and sit outside. Oh my god, no, I'm never going to throw away cats. Exactly. Finished my audiobook and cleaned like half my room. Wow, nice. That's very sorry, distracted. That's very productive. Um, I probably won't be doing, yeah, I will still be doing something productive today because, like, I kind of had to rush after work before sprints because tomorrow is like Day of the Neighbors here in Belgium. And so we and the other people in this building, we are going to have like a sort of potluck outside tomorrow. So I had to like when I got home, I had to figure out what I'm gonna bring with me for the potluck tomorrow, and then like go and buy some um, ingredients for it. Still, like in less than an hour because I wasn't back from work really in a timely manner. So I had a little bit of a stress there of getting everything done on time. But so ideally, I still want to do some of the food prep tonight because tomorrow it starts at 5, and so I have to come back from work and make part of it at that point in time. But I won't like. I'll be a little bit short for time if I wait for everything tomorrow. So I'll probably do some prep already tonight. My weekly Buffy yells. I don't know if you hear those. It's not like the full meow. It's like a. I thought it would be better to shower immediately instead of procrastinating doing it, so I only read 7 pages. Nice going, though. Nice going with him doing it immediately. I get the feeling that I've read too many crime novels in recent years. Topics and tropes repeat, and often you can solve the crime just by thinking who's the least likely person to be responsible. Yeah, that definitely happens. I feel like for me, this is what happened kind of with YA fantasy. I read so much of it over a short period of time that at some point I was just like, yeah, it's just all the same book. Same with like Regency romance. I used to read a lot of historical romance. I think like in one year, I had like a huge Regency romance year, and I read so much. And they while there are some that like stood out to me, they all have that sort of same formula, or a lot of them have that same formula. It's kind of depends on like what the relationship is between the two characters, but then there's only so many different scenarios that they imagine for that period of time, and so you get like variations of that scenario, variations of that scenario. I personally don't read crime, so I don't have it with that, but yeah, I can see that happening, and I've seen, I think, Emily from Books with Emily, who's also been talking about that, how a thriller for her needs to be like extremely good now, because she's read too many, and so most of them become kind of mediocre. Especially since I feel like with a thriller, a lot of it is about that sort of like reveal at the end, and if you've seen those, if those shocks and things like that don't shock you anymore because you've seen it too many times, it kind of loses some of its appeal, I guess. So maybe just like what I did with Regency Romance, for example, is I just moved away from it for a little bit. And to be fair, then I just moved away from it entirely until I watched Queen's Charlotte, and then I reread a few of them. But yeah, it's difficult. I have it also with authors, I feel like. So I'm not somebody who tends to read an entire author's backlist, but I have read a whole ton of Brandon Sanderson. I don't know whether it is because I've read too much of his work or not, that recently I've not been having the same sort of experience with his books. But that's definitely what happened to me when I intended to read the entire back catalog, the entire catalog of Charles Dickens. At some point, I was like, this is too much of the same. And the same is happening with Haruki Murakami, where the last book by him that I read, I was also just like, this is just the same old, same old. I've been there, I've done that. So I don't know, maybe I'm just destined. Maybe it's just like automatically the case that if it's too much of the same, then it's not gonna interest me anymore. There are like two dogs playing outside together, and one's like a huge dog, and the other one is like a super tiny dog. It's very cute. Had a nice long shower and had dinner, both very needed after a long work day. Exactly. 74 pages to go. Oh, and I know I need to visit the owl real quick in the next sprint. Yeah, Duo is probably not that happy with me. She's not talking about a real owl. She's talking about Duolingo. When my parents are watching crime drama TV, I'll walk by and say, guilty, leave the room, and get a text like 45 minutes later asking how I knew. Is this a national thing, Day of the Neighbors, or like just your neighbors? It's a national thing. But like, I never did Day of the Neighbors, for example, or didn't even know about it really until I moved into this building where we have somebody who is very, very social. And so he was the one who also got like the WhatsApp set up for our building so that we all can communicate to one another. And then like sometimes we have game nights and stuff like that, but it's all coming from his excitement. But so he was also the one who was like immediately kind of getting everybody excited for celebrating Day of the Neighbors. But there are multiple people who do it. And like you can get like a care package of the city if you register that you are going to be participating in Day of the Neighbors. Sadly not, I wish, but it's just Duo from Duolingo. And there's always the same unexpected twists. Yeah. It's been 5 days. I did do it yesterday. I think I'm just on my usual rule. Usually I skip 2 or 3 days a week, and probably the same this week. Yeah. One show, A Little Kid Was a Killer. It was definitely surprising. Well, seriously, didn't see it coming. So much of a mood reader, I don't read a lot of the same stuff at once, so don't get that. All the better. Need to get back to my Norwegian, but I'm having an off week. I got some a cancerous melanoma removed. And feel a bit like poop. So tea and books it is. Hope you're feeling better soon, and just take care of yourself. Sorry, Mika. I hope you feel better soon. Exactly. But Dickens also has a problem of it feels like he's paid by the chapter because it always feels too long. True. That is also an issue with Dickens. And actually, upon reread of Hard Times, I liked Hard Times the most of all of his works. And it seems like Hard Times is actually one of the books that he really plotted out. Whereas I know Dickens, to some extent, was also just like putting twists in his books based on things that he was hearing because they were being published in the newspapers as he was writing them. He would sometimes hear people commenting on what they expected or wanted to see happen in the story, and that also kind of influenced him sometimes to push the story in a certain direction. And so definitely with Dickens in that sense, it's overwritten and it meanders a lot because there is no real plan behind it. I too need to visit the owl. Apparently, I'm in the emotion zone. Thank you. I'll feel better as soon as I get the lab results. Ah, yeah, that's also very annoying when you're like waiting in suspense. Hopefully, you get them like, because here, I don't know for that particular situation, but most lab results you kind of get like, they kind of know the bad stuff in the evening off or the next day. It's hoping that it will be quick. And yeah, I don't like not knowing. Yeah, I understand. Not knowing is the worst. That's why, like, when I got a new diagnosis for my collarbone, I was like, people were like, "Oh no," and I was like, "No, I'm so happy." Like 7 years of pain in that collarbone without anyone being able to say what it was coming from or blaming it on something that in the end it wasn't. It's like, yeah, I'm very happy to have a diagnosis and a pill that I can take to get the pain to go away. I got one the other day, like, you asked me to remind you. No, sir, I did not. Lol, them pushy words. Yeah, the notifications for Duolingo are like the worst. I have a notifications, and it's just that my hearts are full again. Yes, very interesting, but I will still not visit you now. Basically, Duolingo is what I do like between 11 and 12 o'clock at night when I'm like, oh no, I still need to do Duolingo. If I let it slide too long, I get clearly this is not working, so I'll stop. But he never does stop. I mainly get to like the sassy sort of like. So I guess you don't want to learn Chinese or something like that. I don't fully remember how it's formulated, but it's something like passive aggressive, indicating that I'm not putting enough of an effort in. So clearly, I don't actually want to be learning. It's like, I do. I just have other stuff to do. The pushy bird becomes flat out rude and good to know. Damn duo, exactly. I'll have to wait about 8. Oh no, because we have some days off for Pentecost holidays here in Germany. Yeah, of course, with May, with all of those holidays, indeed, everything is slowing down a little bit and taking more time. And then, of course, a lot of people will also be using this period to take holidays, so there'll be less staff, I guess. So that sucks. Just been doing some emergency support work on my piece. The combined way, I consider this like my immediate reaction is that you mean support work as in emotional support, as in your peers are emotionally struggling and you need to support them. But I guess we're talking a lot more literal here. The combined weight of growing pots had pulled them away from the string and they'd flopped. Uh, yeah, I have like a plant that's, I don't want to say it's dying. I'm hoping it's still alive, and it's been like struggling, barely surviving my bad care for like 3 years or so. I feel like at this point already. So, if you've survived my care for 3 years, then I'm hoping that that just means it will stay alive. But it is not looking, it's not thriving. It's definitely also totally drooping. But it's a very annoying plant because you need to water it so often. And I struggle to water like once a week even. So yeah, poor plants. I've just put Nick to bed and walked up and down 2 times again already. So it's one of these days again. Yeah, hopefully he'll settle down quickly and fall asleep. So you have like more me time at this point in time. Is he hungry again? At least you get some exercise. It is true. You're getting a lot of exercise in now, do those stairs. Oh, emotional support for peace. That's precious. I picture something like a typical tea turtle t-shirt. I got new t-shirts now, and they're totally not that exciting actually. But I got like two new t-shirts, but they're like the super bland ones. It's just like a solid color, but then they have like a tiny little symbol here. And I got one that has like it reminds me of the painting The Great Wave of Kanagawa, I think it's called. So it's got a wave and then like Mount Fuji and then like a sun on it. And that's my favorite painting. So I wanted that t-shirt. And then I have one that has a glass of wine on it. Today I popped out to the greenhouse to find Panther, the black neighborhood cat with the 5-meter garden exclusion zone, inside and scarpering fast pronto when I approached. It's like, no, the human must not know that we can enter here. I guess they like the warmth of the greenhouse. It gets very warm in there. Yeah, I can definitely imagine. I think mine don't do it that much, but like at my parents' place, or most of the cats that we have had have really loved to like lie down on the ground behind the glass window, where exactly where the sun is like shining in, so that like they're extra warm behind it at that point in time. Do you guys not talk to your plants? Hello, boys, I say on the regular. I don't know what my plants would say back to me, so they would probably resent me pretty badly because now I like one of my goals for the chores list is to water my plants regularly, but my plants are used to me not watering them. And so now I'm actually like when I am doing it every Wednesday now, I'm skipping certain plants because I don't think they like the fact that I'm now giving them water every week because they seem to have like mold in the earth now. So I'm only doing it for certain of my more needy plants because the rest is just used to me now. I have a Great Wave t-shirt. It's light gray, makes me look sickly pale, but I don't care. Yeah, I love the Great Wave. So I don't know whether I share it on Discord, but I also have the Lego set for it. And so I built that, and that needs to go up on my wall, which is a bit weird because I also have an actual art print that I still haven't hung up from when I visited an exhibition in the British Museum, like I don't know, 6, 7 years ago maybe. And at that point in time, that painting was there, and so I bought that back then. But it's like a frame size that is UK frame size, so I need to buy a frame for it when I'm in London now. Need to absolutely remember that this time. So I'll have like two prints of the Great Wave, but I guess I'll need to hang one of them in a different location because that might be a bit weird to have two pictures of the same thing on the same wall. He wanted my phone to play a game on it. I said no, and he wanted to tell stuff from school. It's too much going on in his mind still, you know. He needs to get it out before, or otherwise he'll not be able to sleep, I guess. I have caught the neighborhood cats sitting in the pallet planters inside the greenhouse. I do not want them doing that when the plants are small, but there's little free space for the cats now. So many plants, they're like, Jesus, Sky, this is our garden. What are you doing with our garden? I have an obsession for the book or reading t-shirt. Reading t-shirts by Tea Turtle. By now, they make up a large part of my summer wardrobe. Nice. Yeah, I want to kind of like rethink my closet, but I've been thinking that for years. Like I've already unhauled a whole lot of the things that I don't wear a lot, but still I'm not like strict enough with myself. There's still a ton of stuff in there now that I don't tend to grab because I don't think it fully fits me or it's not something that I like enough. So, but I want it to be more like, I guess, a capsule wardrobe where I have less pieces, but all of them work well together. But it's also so difficult, I feel like, to do that. I have a tiny cactus in my bedroom, and I always chattel. Hey, friend, are you thirsty today? You look thirsty. Let me get you a drink. No, you can't have coffee. Silly cactus. I killed my cactus by giving it too much water. Don't water your cactus. Almost never. Almost never is what I learned. Oops. I suspected it was an only child sort of thing. Lol. It's very cute, though. I love that, Jess. Maybe my cactus would do better if I talked to them. I read during the unofficial pre-sprint stage and also during first proper ones, but I will be watering plants myself during the next stage. So I'll be getting 3 reading sprints in, just not proper 3. I mean, you'll get a reading in. By the way, what's the English plural for cactus? Cactus. And with that being said, let's go for another reading sprint. See you guys in 40, and I'm making myself some caffeine tea now. And we're back. How did you guys do? I made myself some matcha to stay awake, and hopefully it will work. I mean, I was already feeling a lot more awake during this one. And I think we were here. I got told off by the plant people when I worked in an office. I kept pouring leftover water from a glass into it. Oops. We also have that, but I think it's like, I don't know what type of plant it is. It looks a little bit like a tea plant, or like I have a rubber plant, I think it's called, but I don't think it's the same, but it has that type of leaf. And it seems to be loving getting tea basically every day. So I hope it's not a tea plant. It might be cannibalism then or what. Yes, by now I'm much more organized when I get new clothes, so stuff will actually go together. Yeah, I'm definitely still not there, but it's a goal of mine to be able to have pieces that fit together more, and like I don't know, lean into my color scheme a little bit more, or something like that. Um, and yeah, I definitely need a whole lot of new pants because I've been yo-yoing with my weight a lot recently, like recently in the past few years, and so I just keep on having to buy new pants all the time because they never seem to fit. And even when you go back, it's not like you go back to the previous size or something like that. You just go to another in between size. So very annoying. But pants are difficult regardless, right? It's like one of the most difficult pieces, I feel like, for you to find one that actually fits like your body perfectly. Usually they get a drink when I can't remember the last time I did it. I mean, that would be like way too soon for me because I have the memory of a goldfish. Oh my God, look at Buffy. I need to look back to that part and after sprints to see her expression. Look at Buffy like, where does my heated cushion think she's going? The nerve. I'm going to stare her down. That is definitely what I think goes through her mind a lot of the time. Yeah. But waiting is so tiring. By the time you came back, ugh, I have to work on training this human better. Exactly. Yes, that's she can curse. She's like, just reads my mind. I was watching the chatty bit back while having dinner, and I feel you with the watering of plants. I always seem to kill them when I try to water them regularly. Exactly. I mean, what I love is one of my pots. So I have a, what is it? I don't remember what type of plant it is. It's like a climbing plant, and for that one, I have a self-watering like container. So you fill it up with water until you get to the maximum level, and then you need to refill it before you hit the minimum level. But that way, they're like constantly watered over a longer period of time at least. So that one I don't need to water as regularly, which is heaven. So I might actually need to get that as well for the other one, the one that I was talking about earlier, that's like struggling a little bit with my care, because that one like sucks up water. It's like Strelitzia, something Reginae, I think, or something like that. So a bird of paradise plant. So it usually grows in like the Canary Islands, where it obviously has a whole ton of sunshine. And it is in my windowsill here, so it gets as much sunshine as possible, but it's used to like slurping up water, like taking in all the sunshine. And so yeah, this one needs water constantly. Hello, Daniela. Started my second audiobook combo reading, and it's absolutely incredible. So happy I gave it a chance. It doesn't always work for me, but I often kind of do it at the beginning of an audiobook, for example, to combo read, and then after a while, when I'm in the book, I can just switch to audiobook entirely. But it often helps me when I'm kind of struggling with like focusing on an audiobook. It kind of helps me to have the ebook or the physical on hand as well in order to then like focus on it. I would love for it to be a way for me to then just like focus on the physical after a while, using the audio to get into the physical and then continuing on reading the physical. But unfortunately, I'm then used to like, I don't know, the ease of listening to a story. And so, yeah, I end up listening to the audiobook at that point in time. Whereas I would love to like read physically or with my eyes a little bit more. Because I don't know, I feel like I'm losing like the capability to focus for large amounts of time if I listen too much to audio in one go. But it could also just be like a back and forth, that maybe for a certain period of time I just don't have the focusing power on physical and I should just accept that. But I'm always kind of worried that, I'm like evolving in this modern way where your attention span gets shorter and shorter. So I try to kind of combat it a little bit. I've read the two essays in Disability Visibility, very sad and enraging. Yeah, I have Disability Visibility as well here. I don't remember too many of the essays in there, but yeah, I remembered liking it, and that some of them, like with an essay collection, there are always like pieces that speak to you more than others, especially because this is like pieces from different authors as well. But I do still remember like a piece that was also about like a person feeling seen when they like first saw that Selma Blair on like the red carpet, where with like uh, a cane that was like fully decorated, and like that one I remember. Watered some plants, had some dinner, and watched a bit of BookTube. Domrich Books is presenting his allocation of 6 books from SPFBO 9. Nice. Yeah, still need to watch like Cassidy's, for example, for that as well. Read 80 pages and watching I Am Mother with G and her patrons. I don't know that I Am Mother. Um, I was actually thinking, where am I in my book? I am 30% in, and I would love to get a third of the way in by the end of these, but I only have one sprint left to do it, which is going to be like probably just capable of doing that. I shall step outside to the picnic bench for the third sprint stage to complete my evening's reading allocation. I'm interested in disability visibility. I guess any nonfiction reading on that topic is bound to be quite taxing. Yeah, I mean, it depends kind of. It will have its taxing moments. It's also, I don't remember whether it's the case with disability visibility, where it also kind of talks about the joy of, for example, finding a community. But no, that is also an aspect that can be part of nonfiction about disability. I have two others. I have Sitting Pretty, which is a memoir of a woman in a wheelchair, which I really enjoyed a whole lot as well. And then I have, what is it called? The one by Amanda Leduc, Disfigurements, which is about the fantasy, the representation of disability in them, specifically like fairy tales, but then also kind of extending from there, which I also enjoyed a lot because it was also an integration of her personal disability journey as well, and like the struggles she has had with the way that she saw herself and things like that. So I also enjoyed that one a lot. But I do want to read The Year of the Tiger, which is a nonfiction memoir, I think, by the editor of Disability Visibility. I want to say her name is Alice Wong, but I could be mistaken about that. But that one I want to read. It came out last year, and I didn't get around to it last year. I'm definitely most interested in a pair of monster hunters in the night ray at the moment. Something in my throat. Sometimes I like to bottom water by dumping them in a tray filled with waters. Others I like to water from the top so the water drains through, and others just like all the water, so I do both. Is combo reading what I've seen described as immersion reading, or do you mean swapping between audiobook and physical? I was assuming that it was immersion reading, like so you're reading physically while listening audibly, but it could also be the other. Though I feel like, I don't know, it's just like the synchronizing between your audiobook and your ebook is just a little bit difficult, I feel. So I usually like start together and then maybe go in another direction, or I'll start physically and then if I'm struggling I'll switch to ebook to audiobook, but I'm not often like switching back and forth. I rarely do combo reading simply because I almost never have access to both, but this is one who works well. But yes, I understand what you mean. Yeah, it mainly is a case with me with where I have the book physically and then the audio is on script, or I have the ebook on my Kindle because I purchased it at some point, and then it's also the audiobook is also on script. That's the only occasion in which I do it, and then I'm very annoyed if the audiobook is not on script, and I'm struggling with the physical because I'm like, no, this is how I do things when the physical doesn't work. Combo is reading while also listening to the audiobook. Yeah. Don't know if you've talked about it, but is it possible we're hearing the sound from your laptop instead of the mic? I don't know actually. Wait. Settings. Audio. Should be coming from the mic. Wait, what is this difference? No, it's coming from the webcam. Or what? Are you not working? I plugged you in. Wait, is this? Hello? Is this different? Yeah, it should be now this, right? Because the speaker, and I just tested the audio in my headset, is this code. So now you should be having it through this. Oh no, it's been like that the entire time? Oh no. I hope it was, I mean, you've still been interacting with me, so I'm assuming it was still audible. Yeah, indeed, we want to know. I haven't advanced to audiobooks at this stage, so I've yet to try that style one day, someday. Die Lüge by Mikita Franco, translated by Maria Reyer, sadly not available in English. I don't know what it means. The battle? Is that what it's also a word with an L, right? I don't know. I am back. My mom called and we spoke for 50 minutes, so I won't be finishing my book. I'm going to bed now because very tired. Have a fun evening, everyone, and good night. Enjoy your evening. It's always fun to catch up like that. I've read an essay about a deaf person in prison and how they were not able to communicate with anyone for 4 years because they were usually paired with blind inmates. Oh, I was chatting with a friend at work today and mentioned I had to go because I had a delivery coming and I was now inside the 1 hour time delivery slot the DPD offers. A regular DPD guy whose delivery round covers my area, so I see him quite often. Seems unusual to have a regular delivery guy doing the same route, at least compared to Amazon. I mean, here it's pretty standard, I think. Like, the post guy is always the same guy. The PostNL guy is also always the same guy. It's usually Amazon is the issue for me. Like, they work, I think, with DPD, and the DPD guy clearly doesn't come to our building very often. I don't know whether it's the same guy or not because I'm not never here for the DPD guy, but he's like all the other people know who to ring in the building so that they can deliver their packages. And like with this guy, I've already had it a few times where it's like, yeah, your package will be delivered at the post office because you weren't there. And then I'm like, no, you just have to ring the people who are retired, and so they're usually there. I quickly looked into it. Sounds interesting. Might end up on my TBR, as German is totally fine for me. Yes, the sound switched. Ah, yes, big difference. Yeah, I can imagine. So much better. My favorite chocolate supplier sent me a refill order for my chocolate stash. They do these mystery box offers, X amount of chocolate for half price, and of course I get some bonus of like one of the Spanish field technicians that I work with on my job was here for training this week, and he brought like a type of chocolate from Barcelona, and so it was like a
a hazelnut, I think, or an almond. It was a nut with like a praline covering around it. So good. Like I had to be like to my colleagues, like move this away from me, like keep it on the other side of the office because it was like sitting right next to me, and I just kept on grabbing some. But it was so good. I need to find these. But yeah, I didn't even know about these when I was like studying in Spain. So maybe they're too niche, maybe they're too local for me to find anywhere else than Barcelona. Yes, luckily. You've been coming through just fine. Okay, it's good. Now it makes sense it was a webcam because the laptop would also be better than the webcam. Yeah, the webcam is like quite a bit farther away. So I mean, I'm happy you were still catching the sound in that case. So it's still a decent mic on the webcam then. Still on my TVR. Ah, lie. Okay, interesting. It's a very interesting movie so far. It's something like something with mother, right? Me and my mother? I already forgot the title. I often wonder if the mystery box offers are to clear stock that's going out of date. It does not seem that way to me, or as a temptation to order additional stuff as I tend to do. It could be a way to do it, of course. Like stuff, maybe stuff that you're like less certain of will sell well. Um, and then like through a mystery box, it might be easier to sell those things. Or like, yeah, stuff that's just like selling a little bit more difficult. And so by getting people to buy it in a mystery box, they might discover something new that they like and they might order it more in future. I don't know. My regular DPD guy knows I'm in, so I sometimes get next door's box if I hear the door when I'm not expecting a delivery. I've not had many deliveries lately. DPD is the worst around here. I always tell a story how one time they didn't deliver, and when I looked it up online, the driver had left a note: "Found a house, there is no door." Sure. I love hazelnut chocolate. It's so freaking good, and I don't even like literary fiction. Okay. That's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. The webcam mic meant we heard more of Buffy, I think. Ah, yeah, possible indeed. It was like it doesn't filter as much, of course, because here my voice will be coming more true, will be coming through more. One of the booktube channels I follow has great sound, except when her computer switches to the webcam and she sounds a million miles away. Sound and Fury book reviews I'm referring to. Yeah, I'll have to look back to see how it sounds actually through the webcam because now I'm a little bit intrigued. I love mystery boxes for chocolate, so it's a complete surprise when it arrives. I don't know because I don't really like dark chocolate all that much. I like darker chocolates that's still like within the milk chocolate category, but like really dark chocolates, like I don't really like all that much. I can have like a small piece and be okay with it, but typically I don't really like it that much, and so I'm assuming there's quite a bit of that. Like you have quite a lot of variety in that case, so it will have a black chocolate in there as well. So I don't know. Plus, I'm not I like chocolate, but I'm also not crazy about chocolate. So my husband said we should add a rope ladder to the balcony, request a redelivery, and see what happens. I just had a very nice experience with DPD when everything went okay and fast with delivering to a contact point, and I discovered a fairy tale-esque little street nearby when going to pick it up. Yeah, that's nice. I also do it for like my Lumicrate box, for example, because I don't want that one to accidentally end up at like the post office, for example. Or like who knows returns. I'm like always delivering it to like a box thing, which is very close here as well. So for those things I do it, but for other smaller stuff, I'm like, yeah, if it doesn't fit into the mailbox, I'm sure they will ring the door of the person who knows how who uses it. Yeah, and also yeah, Illumicrate is one of they work with I don't know which courier in Belgium. They're my favorite delivery company here. They're reliable and prompt, so I like that. Nice. Milk chocolate boy myself. I don't mind a bit of dark, but gravitate towards milk. A bit of dark and I'm done. Also, I bought ice cream today, but I can't get to it because of a certain cat on my lap. I also bought ice cream. I bought like coconut mochi ice cream. I'm very eager to try it out later because I love the passion fruit flavor I had earlier. Got a couple of smashed up Easter eggs in bags. Brilliant. I'd smash it with my first fist of all anyway. I don't have any Easter eggs left anymore because I use them all in my oats. It's white vegan chocolate is for me. Regular milk I'm intolerant to, and dark chocolate sits uncomfortably in my stomach. Yeah. Luckily, chocolate has been fine with my lactose intolerance, but in general, like after a while of not eating any lactose, I didn't have any reaction to it, or like not severe reaction anymore, because before stopping lactose for a while, I had like constant belly aches, more or less, and stuff like that. But now I will have them sometimes, and then I'll know it's from that, but it's quite okay and it doesn't linger, let's say. But let's do the final sprints. So, see you guys in 40 minutes. Enjoy this final sprint and talk to you later. So we're back. Final sprint's over. I did make it. I am 34% in now, so over a third of the way in, which is needed if I'm trying to finish this book still this month, which I'm not even sure I can still do. But like, if I didn't get to like a third of the way in it now, I would definitely not be able to do it. But so yeah, still hopeful that maybe if I can do like a third of it throughout the weekends, then I can do a third of it like for the remaining days of May and still finish it hopefully. But how did you guys do? I think I was here. I bought ice cream today, but I can't get a note. I already read that. Mochi ice cream is the best, but I have had mixed luck with some brands. Yeah, this is sort of, I think, actually, I'm not entirely sure whether it is the sort of like brand of the supermarket. It would actually surprise me. So I guess it is also some sort of a brand, but it's the same brand as I also already had like another one in, which was like the passion fruit one. What are you licking? But now I have the coconut one, but and I'm not like I like coconut in some things, so we'll see. I don't know. I initially didn't want it. Like when I initially saw the choices, I was like, no, not the coconut one. But then I still got intrigued. So in the end, I was like, yeah, I like the mochi ice cream so much. I want to try both flavors. Read another essay, did Duolingo, and now I'm doing the dishes. Glad the meds helped with my headache. Exactly. So I can get at least a few things done before bed. Then a nice, hopefully restful night will hopefully also help clear it out further. Read in three stages, though one was before you went live, which I consider a great success considering my usual ability to get distracted. Yeah, you did three sprints exactly as all the rest of us. My book continues to be absolutely incredible. I need to find someone who has read it so I can talk about it. I'm at the two-fifth stage of the ninth reign. I now know what the title means. I have a sense of what's going on. Don't yet know how some perspectives link in, but I'm on the track now, I feel. Nice. So less frustration with it, I hope. Finished the movie I Am Mother. It was a weird but good movie. Okay. It's cooler outside here than yesterday, so I wasn't able to sit outside for too long. Reboot too cold for shorts and t-shirts. Yeah, here it kind of depends from day to day. I think was better than yesterday again here, and I'm hearing that tomorrow will be quite well, which will be nice because if we're sitting outside, for the Day of the Neighbors, then it's better for it to be good weather, especially since like we've had it one year where it was like raining, but then they were still building that building, so we could kind of take shelter there. But now we don't really have a place to shelter except like going back inside here. But since we're doing a barbecue, we still want to be outside. Or at 70 pages, this is a very fast read, which is good because I have to take it back to the library. Yeah, I forgot the title again, but it was something that I didn't know. But yeah, good to see that it's a fast read. I had to take some back to the library without reading them because you can only renew it like 3 times, so 3 months in total. And yeah, I did that, and then I tried to renew it, and it was like, nope, you've reached your maximum, unfortunately. Everything made with coconut tastes like it's 100% coconut to me. No other flavor exists. Exactly true. Like it's always like so overwhelmingly coconut. Though I can like if I do like curries with coconut milk, for example. And what I really like, and I think, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what it was like, but when we were in China, we would often have these sort of like popsicles, and they were white popsicles. It's like a water ice cream is what we call it in Dutch, but it was white, and so I'm not sure what was in it, whether it was just some sort of a milk with sugar in it because it was sweet, or whether it was maybe something like coconut milk. But it was delicious. So I'm hoping to have that type of experience with this mochi, but we'll see. I learned this week that we have yet another bank holiday next week. Exactly, another 4-day week, which will be our 3rd of May. I don't keep track of these holidays, so they always surprise me. Yeah, I mean, we for us typically, and for you guys as well, clearly, May is like a bank holiday heavy one because you have like Labor Day and then you have two religious holidays in the month of May. So it's typically a lot of holidays. So I'm always like checking what's there. And so I actually made one of my non-long weekends long this month to have a very chill month to some extent, which is not the case because it was work related, was a very stressful month. I said in a team meeting earlier this week when my boss reminded me, they know I have no clue about such holidays, that we should have more 4-day work weeks. Yes, they're nice. He went off on one about trials of 4-day weeks here in the UK. Yeah, they've had the trials for that in Spain. I think in Spain you can do. I mean, you can do it here as well, but um, I don't think it would work very well for my job, for example. And like, I don't know whether that many jobs actually do it yet, but the possibility exists. I think that was the same by me. Can't bring myself to put on pants at the end of May. Lol, it's shorts and t-shirt weather. Damn it. Yeah, it's definitely not shorts and t-shirt weather here yet. I just saw it on Spotify, so I might listen to it very soon. Nice. I cheekily raised my hand and said to everybody who wants to move to a 4-day working week and even got a show of hands. There you go, Mark. I said, motion passed. Make it so. I'm crap at making jokes, so if I can raise and smile, I consider that a success. Do it. It's so worth it. You'll have somebody to talk about it soon, I think. Didn't they try that in Iceland? I think they tried it in Spain. Are you on Goodreads or on Sasha's Discord, maybe? If you have Discord, even if you're like not on a shared Discord, you can still do like private messaging to one another as well to kind of discuss at through that means, for example. Um, but yeah, the 4-day work week. I don't know. On the one hand, I'm like yes, but on the other hand, it's like 10-hour work days for the 4 other days, which does not sound like a great bargain neither. Because it's like 10 hours of focusing on a day. No thanks. On Goodreads, yes. That Discord, no, but mainly on Instagram, same username as I have here. Or you can like do it on Instagram. I am part of a group that's discussing like the secret project books for Brandon Sanderson, even though I've had to ignore that group chat for like 2 months already since I did not read the latest novel when it came out. But you can definitely also do it there. I would love a 4-day working week. We've had 3 of them this month, including next week, and 2 of them were back to back after some old guy got a new hat. Sure, but like you didn't have to work extra hours for the other 4 days to compensate for that fifth day, you know? And like the work was standing still that fifth day as well to some extent for me. Not like I think the holiday we had last Thursday, Spain was not off, so basically mails were coming in even though I wasn't working. And I think it will be the same on Monday, though big parts of Spain will be on holiday as well on Monday, so I might get lucky there. But a 4-day work week when the work does not stand still on that fifth day can also cause stress then when you get back to your first of your next 4 days. My boyfriend's name is Mark, and he would definitely support a 4-day work week for all. I have so many things to do that I'm rushing around after work usually. Some old guy got a new hat. Indeed. Fancy hat, though not very practical, I guess. Quite heavy. I don't want to work extra hours in a day. As soon as I hit 4 p.m., the computer gets turned off and I'm in my hammock within mere minutes. Exactly, but if you want like the whole concept of how the 4-day work week would work is then that you keep on the same amount of work hours in the week, but they would put it on 4 days instead of 5. So yeah, in that regards, I'm like, not entirely sure that I would want to go for that. And you would have to like coordinate your team, or in our job at least, so that there is somebody there every day of the week. So some of your colleagues you might not see that regularly, or you know, it might become more difficult in terms of like coordinating with one another. The sun goes over the hammock by 6 p.m. UK time, so that's when I start working in the garden after a couple of hours. of hammock time to make up for all that desk time. Nice. Like sport championships rings, not practical, only worn to show. Yeah, like the US ones, like the ones for like the gymnastics ones, they're like bricks. They're like this big. It's like okay, I can imagine that you're probably not gonna wear a sports championship ring in any way, in any case, so they might as well make it super big. But why give a ring then? Night all. Yes, night everybody. So next week I am in London. So no sprints on Thursday, but I am coming back the Wednesday after that. So the Thursday in 2 weeks we should have sprints again. So yeah, see you guys then. Enjoy the in between time, and for those of you who have a long weekend, enjoy the long weekend as well. But so yeah, see you guys and chat to you on Discords. Bye.